Welcome to the Lunch Lads podcast.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Lunch Lads podcast. And today we have some fantastic topics for you guys. First, we'll be talking about the drama surrounding Aaron Rodgers. Will he stay a Packer? Will he move? Will he retire and go to Jeopardy? I don't know. Then we will break down some of the NFL drafts winners and losers. And lastly, we will go to the NBA MVP race. So, guys, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers? What is going to happen? Giddy, do you want to tell us what has happened so far?
So
why this drama has started?
If you don't know already, Aaron Rodgers is being a crybaby and wants out because he's so sad and he's afraid of Tom Brady being in his conference. But the real reason he wants out is he thinks that the Packers haven't done enough to support him over the past two seasons, especially I think when it comes to draft and free agency. And I think he has the right to be mad. You know, like last year, last year's draft, they took in the first round, they picked Jordan Love, who is going to be the successor to Aaron Rodgers. So I don't understand why that was the pick in general. No one understood why it was the pick, but it just didn't make sense at the time. And then going into the season, you know, Packers were getting a lot of hate, but Aaron Rodgers showed up and he did his job. He won MVP. Packers looked like Super Bowl, I wouldn't say favorites but they were in the Super, like everyone thought they were going to make the Super Bowl.
They were one game away from the Super Bowl.
They're one game away. And you know what? Maybe if they drafted a receiver that could have helped Devontae Adams like with the slack, or maybe they drafted a defensive player, a cornerback to help Kevin King not get dusted by his father, Scotty Miller.
Dusted.
Maybe they would have made the Super Bowl and maybe they would have beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So I think Aaron Rodgers has a really great case to be mad because a lot of people think that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback or player of all time. And I think Aaron Rodgers thinks, you know, his resume, he has a few MVPs, which is good, but he only has one Super Bowl. And if you're the most talented quarterback of all time and you only have one Super Bowl, I think that's pretty disappointing. And I think he saw last year as the perfect chance for him to get the Super Bowl. And I think he thinks that the Packers aren't looking for the best for him. So yeah. I think that's why he wants out, and I could really see this thing getting ugly.
And also, I thought it was quite interesting that the GM and members of the Packers front office have come out so many times saying Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback. We do not want to trade Aaron Rodgers, when it's clear that he wants out and he does not want to be a part of the team.
So as a Packer fan, very rough couple days for me. Being Aaron Rodgers, being one of our only good players currently on this team, and without him, we're kind of not a top team at all. And with him, we're like one of the best teams. And all I'm going to say is last year, we had Rodgers, we had Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams. We had three tight ends in Lewis, Tunyon, Sternberger. First three picks to go draft a quarterback, then a running back, then a tight end. Nothing in free agency except for Devin Funchess, who goes and sits out the whole year. Then Aaron Rodgers goes on to win MVP, play one of the best years of his career. Makes guys that are like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Alan Lazard look like average to good wide receivers in the NFL. Makes it all the way to the NFC Championship. They're down 8. They have a chance to go and tie the game. They go and kick a field goal for no apparent reason.
Aaron's going to run that in, though.
And then Aaron Rodgers, he could be mad after that. They still have free agency to then go give him a top wide receiver, which a lot of wide receivers were available. They don't sign a single wide receiver. They re-signed Devin Funchess, who is an old guy with nothing, and they just do nothing. Now they have the draft. They have a first-round pick. A lot of wide receivers projected at the end of the draft. And right before the draft, it comes out that Rodgers wants out, meaning that they probably told him they weren't drafting a wide receiver, any offensive player to help him. Aaron Rodgers has every reason to want to leave the Green Bay Packers. I'm a Packers fan, and I think he should leave. He's not going to win with us in the future. The Packers don't do anything. He said he'll come back when we fire a GM, Brian Gutekunst, maybe the worst GM in the NFL besides Mike Mayock. But the Packers don't seem to do big things, and I just don't see them doing that. So I'm guessing I'm not going to see Aaron Rodgers be a Packer ever again.
Yeah. As a Bucs fan, hey, Aaron Rodgers, get out of here. We don't want you in our conference anymore. If he leaves, I really don't. Just let's say from the outside NFL perspective, let's not go from the Packers perspective. Let's just say, so he came out with a list of 3 teams.
If he goes to the 49ers, they're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to the 49ers anymore. I don't really think they have a lot that they can offer, especially now that they already used their third overall pick on Trey Lance, which we'll get to later. And he put the Raiders down, and I don't think the Raiders are. I could see the Raiders maybe trading for him.
They're pretty locked in on Carr. They're pretty locked in.
Yeah, I think they like Carr, but the Broncos are a very interesting place for him to go, and I only see really him going to the AFC. I don't see the Packers trading him to the NFC. So Packers, please trade him to the AFC. So the Bucs have the easiest road to a Super Bowl ever because the Rams are overrated, Seahawks overrated.
Yeah,
NFC is starting to become a pretty bad conference.
Yeah.
And just one more point before we go on to another topic. The Rodgers and the Packers, they saw what the Bucs did for Tom Brady. They're selling out for their quarterback, getting all the weapons, getting Gronk back. And what they did was they drafted Jordan Love when T. Higgins was still on the board. They could have drafted a good receiver to help that team, but they didn't help Rodgers, and that's why he's very upset.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I think personally, I understand why Aaron Rodgers is mad, but I think he's being just a little bit selfish because the guy, I understand why he's mad because they drafted Jordan Love, but the guy literally won MVP, the best player of last year. He proved that he doesn't need more help. So why does he think getting another wide receiver is going to make them go
Think
to
about it. Think about it.
I think that's a bit ridiculous.
Think about it. He won with nothing. Imagine you give him a good receiver. Like he makes these bad receivers good. Imagine you go out and sell out all of your draft picks. Imagine the Packers go out.
The guy was literally the best player of the.
I think it's just a matter. I think it's a matter of respect. I think that he took it as disrespectful that the Packers went out last year and not only drafted, but they traded up for a quarterback. I think he took it as disrespectful, thinking that they're looking out for their future when I think that I could help this team win now. And he thinks that the Packers aren't doing their very best to help him win now.
No, just think about it. Tom was on the Patriots with never like that top receiver. Like he had Edelman and Gronk. I'm not going to say they're bad players. They're definitely good, but they're not like a great receiving core. Then Tom goes to the Bucs. They give him Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Gronk, Scotty Miller. I don't even know who else you guys have. You guys have way too many. Tyler Johnson, Cameron Brate, OJ Howard. They have Fournette, Rojo. Like they have all these options, and Tom proves to win. Tom might not have needed these options, but getting them just makes it like a lock. Like if we had given up like a crazy amount of picks for Julio Jones, maybe our future's worse. We have
Julio Jones. Shut up.
The Packers had gone on.
You cannot afford Julio Jones.
I know we could have afforded Julio. I know we're never going to because our GM's complete degenerate. But if we went out and offered a good amount of picks and got Julio Jones, maybe our future's worse. But Aaron Rodgers has Julio Jones, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams, and nobody's stopping that off.
What do you guys think Devontae Adams is thinking right now?
He's going to want out if Rodgers is gone and when his contract.
What's his contract situation looking like? Because that guy's got to get paid before he becomes doo-doo.
I don't even know. I'm searching his contract up right now.
Yeah.
How many years left?
Signed for 4 years. I don't know when it started.
There's no way his cap hits near Julio's.
No one cares about Devontae Adams because he's sold in the fantasy.
Oh, and he's done after. He's a free agent next year.
Oh, wow.
Aaron Rodgers to the nine.
Let's go rebuild Packers. He's coming
Jordan Love, AJ Dillon, Alan Lazard, and
guys. What if Aaron Rodgers just retires and goes host Jeopardy? I think that.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he does.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
He's not going to play on the Packers.
Right before we leave the Packers thing, Donnie, as the Bucs representative, you're the Packers representative. I have a trade proposal. Okay.
Don't offer him Tom Brady.
You give us Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, who's on an expiring contract, and he's not going to re-sign with you.
That doesn't make his value.
For the future, our future, Kyle Trask, and maybe Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
And wait.
Don't even think about offering him a 7th round.
We're not done.
Don't even think about it.
We're not done. and maybe
Don't say Gio.
maybe Keyshawn Vaughn. Deal or no deal?
I'm gonna have to say no deal here. Devontae's value still does not go down.
You're lost. Kyle Trask, the future. You're missing out.
Jake
Okay,
Giddens 10 minutes before. Wait. Jake Giddens 10 minutes before the Bucks draft pick. Kyle Trask sucks. Bucks draft Kyle Trask. Jake Giddens goes away for 5 minutes, comes back. Kyle Trask is the future.
He is. Yes.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'll talk about this later.
All right, Russ, what's next on the table?
Now some winners and losers of the NFL draft. So everyone could say their winners first. I'll start. So I have the Bills being a winner, my favorite team. They picked Gregory Rousseau, an edge rusher, and I think that really filled a need for the Bills. He's a very lanky edge rusher. In his 1 year as an edge rusher in 2019, because he opted out last year, he had 15 and a half sacks. Before that in high school, he played receiver. So he's still figuring out the position and was dominant in his first year, getting 15 and a half sacks. That's insane. He fell because, he played only 1 year, but I think it's a great pick. The Bills really.
I think it's a good value pick.
Yeah,
I
great
like
value.
it. Fills a big need.
All right, so I'll go with my winner. Besides the Buccaneers, who secured their future in edge Joe Tyron and future quarterback Kyle Trask, I think that the GM that had the most pressure on him going into this draft was Ryan Pace of the Chicago Bears, and I think he answered the call beautifully.
Good for him. Good for him.
Future of the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields. He traded up. He gave a first-round pick next year, but I think the Bears are going to be really good next year, and Aaron Rodgers is gone, so they're easily going to win that division because the Packers suck. And they also, not only did they get Justin Fields, but they got a guy that I saw in many mock drafts, mocked to them at number 20, Tevin Jenkins in the second round. Great offensive tackle, protect Justin Fields. Andy Dalton will start for a little bit, but Justin Fields is the guy. He's the man of the future in Chicago. They finally have a quarterback. Great pick.
All right, so for my winner, I am going to stay in that NFC North, and I'm going to pick the Detroit Lions, the not very good Detroit Lions, with an amazing pick at number 7. They get Penei Sewell, the best offensive lineman in the draft. In my opinion, top 5, maybe even top 3 talent of the entire draft, and he goes to number 7. I really like this pick. I think it fits Dan Campbell's narrative of biting off those kneecaps very well. He's going to be a force on the line, and good for them. You know what? They're not going to be a good team this year, but I think it's a great start for them.
It's a great foundation, really. Their O-line now is actually pretty good when you think about it. They have 2 really good tackles now, Sewell and Decker, and Ragnow at center in the middle. Pretty good.
So I have actually 2 winners. One's not really a bit. I like 49ers as a winner. They take Lance over Mac Jones, basically just giving the fans what they want and giving them like that potentials type player, not that like basic guy. And my actual real winner is another team in the Packers division, the Minnesota Vikings. Trade down to 23 and still get the guy I thought they were going to get before with Christian Darrisaw. I think it's a great pick, great value pick, and that's why they're.
You got to show some love to the offensive linemen.
Yeah.
They don't get the respect they deserve.
Yeah, and I'll start it off with a loser. So my loser for this year's draft is the Atlanta Falcons. I know. Yeah, they were picking pretty high. They went Kyle Pitts, and he's an amazing player. I love Kyle Pitts. He's going to be a success in the NFL. But the way the organization is going, they did not need Kyle Pitts. Their offense is incredible. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Calvin Ridley. And they just traded a second-round pick for Hayden Hurst. I think that was last year or 2 years ago. They could have traded down in the draft, gotten 2 defensive players. I really didn't like the way that they picked Kyle Pitts. He's a great player. He's going to succeed in the NFL, but not the way they need to pick.
I like that take. I completely agree with that. They have a big need at defense, and they're just going to see their games last year when teams are just running their defense out of the building. I think it's going to be very similar this year.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be like the best offense in the league, one of the best.
Like a better version of the Bills' offense now.
They're going to be
Yeah, but their defense is
They were-
easily bottom 3. Like, it's just terrible.
They were also incredible last year. They had an incredible
Their
offense
defense
last year.
wasn't
But
bad at the end of last year, though. Like, their defense.
I hate the Falcons. I'm a Bucs fan. I hate the Falcons, and I think they're going to be. I think they're not going to be able to stop teams, but they're going to be able to outscore them. There's no doubt about that. I think they're going to be a playoff.
yeah, but that wasn't their problem last year. They were
No, their problem was
Their offense wasn't good in the red zone
blowing
last year.
leads last year.
Their offense wasn't good in the red zone last year, and Pitts is going to solve that red zone.
It's true. They were the worst. They were like one of the worst red zone offenses in the league as a young Huku owner.
No one can stop Pitts, Hayden Hurst, Julio, Calvin in the red zone. Like,
But their defense won't be able to stop the Jets for all I know.
Yeah, it's an incredible offense.
I disagree. Their defense wasn't bad at the end of last year. They turned it up at the end of last year.
Watch, I think they're going to be really bad, their defense. Not their offense, their defense. All right, Jake, who's your loser?
So, after rethinking, I keep going back and forth on it. I can't really figure out the loser that I have, but after some big decisions, I'm going to go with the Bengals. I don't think that was the right pick. I've been thinking about it like a lot over the past like month because there's a lot of rumors that they might pick Chase at 5 over Sewell, which I didn't think was the right decision. But Jamar Chase is a great receiver. He's great. But it's just like it's not the right pick. You can't do that. You saw Joe Burrow last year. He was very promising. He's going to be a great quarterback, but he's not going to be your quarterback for that much longer if he just keeps getting hurt. Because you see that. Did you see that scar that he had from his like torn ACL?
Like the jersey.
Scary, man. That is
that looks scary. Like that's after like half a season as the Bengals quarterback. Like that's really terrifying. Like their O-line, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they already have 2 tackles. They can't just like move one of their tackles to guard. Guess what? You can move one of your tackles to guard because guard is way easier to play than tackle is because you don't have to worry about pushing players to the edge. So a lot of people can argue that he's not a generational lineman talent. I think he is. I think that you could have set up you could have had Burrow protected by Sewell for the next 5-10 years, and it would have been perfect for your team. Now you got Burrow's friend. I guess that's what Burrow wants. Like, I don't know. You already had
what Burrow wants. Burrow is taking.
It seems like it's what Burrow wants, but you already had Chase. You already had my bad, not Chase. You have Chase now. You already had Higgins. You already had Boyd. I don't see it. I don't really think it's a great pick. I think you could have got a receiver in the second round.
It's just like comparing like Jamar Chase, great receiver, comparing him to Justin Jefferson when he played, he was way better than Justin Jefferson. And it's hard to pass up on a guy that when you look at what Justin Jefferson was doing, and then this guy's better than him.
Yeah, but Justin Jefferson translated very, very well to the NFL. We don't know how well Chase is going to translate to the NFL. Like Jefferson happened to be like the
not many players turn out like Jefferson in their first year. Not to say that it'll be good next year, but
like Jefferson somehow managed to just come right into the NFL and not have to change anything or adapt. He just continued what he was and was a great player. Chase might have to adapt.
As much as Chase, as good as Chase is, and I think realistically, not all of the receivers are going to be good, but I actually thought that Jamar Chase is really good, but I think he wasn't my number 1 receiver.
Yeah, like my number 1 was Waddle.
I liked Smith.
I love Waddle. I'm so mad he's on the Dolphins. All right, well, my loser. You know what? Actually, for my loser, I still like the pick, but the Cowboys taking Micah Parsons, I would call them a loser because they have an urgent need at defensive back and in the secondary. And unfortunately, the Panthers and the Broncos both took the top defensive backs, J.C. Horn and Surtain, right in front of them. So they took Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is a good player, don't get me wrong, but they already have Jalen Smith, and I think Lane Vander Esch is coming off an injury from last year. I don't think it's a big need for them, and they kind of got screwed over by not getting their defensive back. I think everyone thought they were going to take Surtain, but unfortunately they didn't get him. So that's my loser.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like Parsons, great pick. Didn't get who they wanted at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think their defense is still going to be bad. It really doesn't. Like he's a great player, but they needed secondary, and I don't blame them. I think that was the right pick. They should have made it. It's unfortunate that both Horn and
They made the best pick with what was available.
Yeah.
So my loser team I didn't actually pick that early in the draft, the Houston Texans, didn't have a second round pick, so they really needed to hit on that third round pick. But then they go and draft a quarterback in Davis Mills. They already have Deshaun Watson, and they signed Tyrod Taylor. And I feel like they signed somebody else, drawing a blank. Didn't they sign a Bengals quarterback? Finley. I don't think Davis Mills is the solution if they get rid of Deshaun Watson. I think if they're trading Deshaun anywhere, most teams are going to give away their quarterback anyway. That's going to be better than Davis Mills, and they really need to hit on that pick. And then later on the draft, they drafted Michigan's receiver Nico Collins, who just isn't that proven and kind of struggled in 2019 with the Wolverines, and I just don't think they drafted well or drafted what they needed.
Yeah. By the way, to everyone out there, we didn't choose them as a loser, but we all agreed that the Raiders picking Alex Leatherwood in the first round was a brutal pick. We're just saying that.
Yeah, kind of just the obvious loser.
We weren't going to say that because we wanted to
Huge reach.
The Raiders lose every year.
Huge reach.
When was the last time
the funny thing is that they picked Trayvon Moreg in the second round, who I actually like. But if you swapped, let's say that they picked Moreg in the first round and picked Leatherwood in the second, I would have actually said that's a good draft.
It would have been a very good draft. But they
got a steal in the second, but they reached hard in the first.
They could have even made their draft better.
Yeah.
Didn't pick him in the first round.
Well, now they're paying Leatherwood more because they picked him higher.
All right. I think it's time to go to the NBA, guys. What's happening in the MVP race as we come to the end of the season?
I feel like it's kind of like very set who the top three are, and there's one person that the fans think is going to win, but probably won't. I think most fans want it to be Steph Curry because of how well he's been playing with the Warriors. I don't think he's going to win, though. But I think like the bona fide top three are Jokic, Embiid, and probably Giannis, maybe not because of his injury. And it's going to be a toss-up between Jokic, Embiid, whoever finishes the season stronger. They've been pretty equal throughout the year, both averaging ridiculous stats. Embiid's team is better as of now, meaning that he probably is the favorite, but I don't really know.
You know what?
Yeah. So I agree with Donnie. I think that's the pretty consensus top three. I'm one of those people that really want Steph Curry to win it because Curry got a lot of
love Steph Curry, man.
I want him to win so bad.
I don't understand the Curry hate. He's just a good guy. When you look, we're gonna look back at it when we're older. In like when we have kids and they're gonna ask like about like the players from like when we were kids, and we're gonna say Steph Curry, man, he was incredible.
Look at Curry, man. Just look at Curry.
Look at Curry, man. So inspirational.
I think find is pretty crazy. I have the NBA.
The MVP.
I have like the MVP rankings in front of me.
Oh,
Curry's very low. Like the rankings go, they have Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2, Giannis at 3. And this is gonna be a shocker. They have Chris Paul at 4.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, no.
Why is no one talking about
Chris Paul? I like it.
And second, where is Julius Randle?
Yeah. I'm gonna get to Randle. At 5,
no love. This guy's getting no love.
I'm gonna get to Randle. No, they have at 5. They have Luka. I feel like Luka just has to be in there. I don't think he's gonna win it, but I feel like he has to be that number 5. And then 6, they have Dame. 7 is Curry. Then coming in at 8, finally is Julius Randle. 9, Gobert, and 10, Booker.
I love those stories where
is Kawhi not on that list? How is
Kawhi hasn't been playing really. It's Paul George has been the better player as of recent.
Yeah, but just looking at it, his stats averaging over 25 points.
He hasn't played enough.
Clippers, yeah. Since the Clippers,
you're not going to win by sitting out.
Kawhi's never going to win MVP.
The Clippers were kind of struggling with Kawhi, and then he kind of went out, and Paul George has brought them back to potentially being that 3 seed.
Yeah, I think so. In my opinion, you guys think Julius Randle? I think he's going to be like I think he's a top 5 candidate. There's no way.
I don't think he's going to win. I just don't think he's getting enough love for.
He shouldn't be in the conversation. He's a really talented player. He's made the leap this year to being an all-star. He's going to make it.
I love when that happens. I love when players do
that.
I
know. It's nice to see. And I think talent's always been there. He was the 7th overall pick a long time ago, and he missed his entire rookie year because he broke his leg the first night of his first game. And that could have set him back like a long time. When looking back at it now, like maybe he could have been that player for like the Lakers, like all those years ago, if he didn't suffer that injury.
The Lakers are so good at drafting, but they can't develop for their life.
Yeah, they can't develop
Julius
anyone.
Who is it? Julius Randle, Ingram, Lonzo, and D'Angelo Russell were all.
Yeah.
No, but they also traded them. Like,
Yeah, but they
got
got
them.
all those four, and they kept Kuzma, the one that's not done well. And I guarantee if Kuzma goes somewhere else, he's going to develop into an all-star.
you heard it here first. This guy guarantees when Kuzma, because Kuzma's not going to be on the Lakers for so long. When Kuzma leaves, he's going to be an all-star.
No, but right now I think the MVP. It's not. I don't think a lot of people want it to be him for some reason. I guess it's not like the flashy pick or something, but it's Jokic. I don't understand. It's not really a conversation. I think it would have been Embiid, but he got hurt. He missed a lot of time, and that's unfortunate for him. But Jokic is playing at another level right now. He's probably the best passing big man we've seen in a while, probably of all time.
It's amazing to watch him.
He's a point guard in a center's body. He could score at will. He's carrying the Nuggets right now. He's going to have to carry them in the playoffs without Jamal Murray. But I think that it's Jokic. I don't think it's that big of a conversation. I actually kind of like the Chris Paul argument because you can see what the impact he's had on all the teams he's went to.
Him,
Rockets,
really,
Thunder, now the Suns, who I think are serious
well.
championship contenders.
They're my favorite right now.
Okay, they're not the favorite, but
I really like the Suns. I know that they don't have as much talent as some of these other teams, but their coaching staff is very good. They have Chris Paul, a great leader. Booker's an up-and-coming top.
Watch them lose in the first round.
They could easily lose in the first round, but they easily can go on a crazy run. Like they're one
I
of
hate
those.
to say it. I love the Suns. Watch them.
They're one of those teams that can lose in round one or go all the way.
yeah, I'm a big Suns guy. I really like the Suns. Look,
I'm nervous now.
He's gonna have some jersey. He has a jersey of every team.
Oh, it's the Valley. Oh, it's so
go
nice.
Suns! Go Suns! Just came after 5 months. Go Suns! But yeah, I think the Suns are going to be good. But I don't know what you think, Donnie, or anyone else who wants to chime in. I think it's Jokic.
I think Jokic is the better player this year, but the NBA doesn't actually follow the term most valuable player. They follow.
I don't think any sport.
I know they follow best player on best team, and Embiid's team is better. And I see Embiid winning because he's putting up very similar stats and leading his team to a better record. So I just think it's going to be Embiid. Overall, I think Jokic deserves it, but a very underrated. If they're going by most valuable, the Bucks have been struggling as of recent since Giannis's injury has been occurring. Like he's proving to be that most valuable player for that team.
So valuable. But yeah, if I had to pick one, I think I'm going Jokic. But if you haven't watched the Knicks or the Suns and seen Julius Randle and Chris Paul, watch because they're
really fun teams to watch.
Knicks are winning the championship.
I
Knicks Suns finals.
I love the thing saying Knicks are going to upset the Nets in the playoffs.
Who?
Everyone's like saying on like
that would be a fun series.
They're not actually. Is it not the New York?
That series would almost be as fun as Habs Leafs.
Another underrated
almost.
player on the Knicks
Yeah.
is Derrick Rose. No one's talking about how good he's been for them. Like since he went there, that's when the Knicks started heating up. Like he's been a great leader for that team.
Do you want to hear a funny quote? Derrick Rose, for the people that don't know, so he was on the Pistons. And as many people know, the Pistons suck. And he told the Pistons, he's like, trade me. I want to be traded to a winning team. Trade me to the Knicks. And Dwayne Casey said to him, he said, you're going to have as much winning there as you had here. You have as much of the like playoff chance there as you have here.
Hilarious.
But he said, trade me to the Knicks. And the Knicks, they're the 4th seed right now.
The worst team in the NBA.
I miss Dwayne, though. I miss Dwayne.
Silly Dwayne. Nick Nurse is better than you, buddy. So I think, Russell, do you have anything to say on the MVP, or do you think we've said?
Yeah, Jokic for me. But just one last thing. We talked about Rookie of the Year and awards before.
Yeah.
Where do we think we're at for Rookie of the Year?
I have a big thing. LaMelo might be coming back tonight. If LaMelo balls out for the rest of the season, does he have a chance at winning it? Because no rookie's taken that step since he went down.
I can see it.
Does LaMelo have
it's just like, how's this
He's
LaMelo?
so many games.
He's missed so many games, but no rookie's taken the jump since he got hurt. Edwards hasn't done anything. Halliburton's completely fallen out. Like Jay Sean Tate is number 2.
A lot of people are saying Isaiah Stewart, who's like
Yeah,
averaging
he's
9
been playing
points.
like nothing. He's playing on the shitty
It's
Pistons.
gonna be a rough rookie of the year.
Yeah, if LaMelo comes back and plays at the level or even half the level he was playing at when he was playing, yeah, he's probably going to win it, but he has to play pretty much the rest.
Does Giuseppe have a chance?
Nah, Malachi Flynn. Yeah, but I think that it should be. Nah, it shouldn't be. I don't know. It's too tough. That the rookie of the year is so stupid now. Like no one knows really who's gonna win.
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for listening. We had some interesting topics. Continue watching out for the draft, and thanks for checking in.
Go Pack, go.
Peace.